Alright, so what are plugins? Plugins are basically anything that you can plug in to your recording environment. It's a separate piece of software that will run within your environment, and it comes in different shapes and forms. For instance, I'm gonna loading a plugin right now, and this one's gonna be a electric piano. So I'll create it, and here it is. It comes out, and it sounds like this, and I can open it for you, and it'll look something like that. Now these are plugins that come within Logic. Let me show you a couple other ones. These are called software instrument plugins. And for instance, I'm gonna show you another plugin that would be the drum kit designer. Let's see what that is. Okay, so you have drums. You can tune them. You can play with your keyboard. You can click on them. But you have synthesizers, you have organs. You have tons of plugins within, and they all come with Logic when you buy it. Plugins don't have to be instruments, they can be audio effects. So for instance, for guitar players, you can load up an amp, and now you have your amp with full control of gain, bass, mids, treble. You can change that amp to clean amps, distorted amps. You can even manipulate what type of mic and how. This is, let's call a dynamic mic, and you can even manipulate where you put it. You can see that how far, where, with the within the speaker, in the middle, to the side, back. A lot of potential. You have pitch correction. You have everything you need to make a professional recording within Logic Pro. However, there are other companies that make third-party plugins. One of them being Spectrasonics. Now I'm talking about personal, and a lot of people like it. Spectrasonics makes 3 plugins that are amazing. Actually 4 plugins that are amazing. Their flagship one, I would say, it's called Omnisphere. They started with something called Stylus RMX, which I use a lot, and these are multi-timbral plugins. So for instance, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call another software instrument, and I'm gonna pick multi-timbral 8 parts. Okay, and actually you can have 8 parts, but I'm just, for the sake of this, I'm just gonna say 4 parts, and I'm gonna create, and there are my 4 parts, so I'm gonna call it Stylus 1. Now you can name this by double clicking here, and you can name it anything you want. So I'm gonna name this a piano, and then here I name it Stylus. So I'm gonna load in right here on this will be my channel, MIDI channel 1, MIDI channel 2, MIDI channel 3, MIDI channel 4, and I'm gonna load an instance of Stylus Spectrasonics Stylus RMX. Now this plugin, I like it very, very much, and you have your tracks right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 8, and what you do is you pick a track, and it comes with a bunch of already made loops. They're MIDI loops triggering professionally recorded drums. So I'm just gonna use, let's see, their core library, RMX grooves, and let's see what Eden sounds like. Let's say that I like this. Let's grab it. I'm gonna bring it to my track. All right, so now I'm gonna go to Stylus 2. I can load something different. So I'm gonna go ahead and load, let's see, from the groove elements, I'm just gonna groove 4 on the floor. And something. Let's grab that. Put it there. I'll loop it. You see how I loop? I'll go ahead, put it right, the cursor right to the upper, and now I can drag, and there it is. And this is what it sounds like so far. Now I'm gonna go to number 3. Groove elements. Let's get some tambourines. All right, let's grab that. And let's loop it. And let's go number 4 and let's add some bongos or something. Let's grab that. That's just what we have. Now we have a mixer over here. We have effects, chaos, time, mixer. So let's bring the tambourine up. Bongos down. And you have effects. So for instance, let's put on the 4, I'm gonna go to effects, I'm gonna add a delay. See what that sounds like. I'm gonna go back to the mixer and solo it. So you get the idea. So now I have my thing going on here, and this is just, all this is running just within an instance of the plugin. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna load another multi-timbral plugin with 4 parts also, and this time I'm gonna call Omnisphere. You can load the plugins from here or also from the channel track. So I'll create, and I'm gonna go ahead and name this Omnisphere, just so I don't get confused. Close the library. I'm gonna close the plugin, but the plugin's still there, I just can't see it. And I'm gonna go ahead, call up Omnisphere by double clicking, and I'm gonna call some sort of bass. All right, let's call a bass from Trilogy. Now, Trilogy is another plugin, but you can open it within Omnisphere because it just happens to be the same company. So I'm gonna go for this, see this finger bass, see what it sounds like. Fine with it. Let's see what we can come up with. All right, I'll double click here. Quantize. Now go to my channel 2 over here, or track 2 if you want it, within the same instance of the plugin, and I'll call up, I don't know, some sort of from the Atmosphere library. See what that sounds like. See, Afterglow. Sounds pretty. Let's use that. All right. All right, so let's quantize that. And now if you notice, I made a mistake right here, I think. Right there. I can fix it just by selecting this note and bringing the pitch up, and now we're fine. Now the timing here is wrong, so I can just grab this one and move it to where it's right. So beautiful. And over here I can just select a lead. So now we pick 3 and we look for a lead. And we can search it. We can just go lead, and let's see what these leads come out. No, let's go to the Omnisphere library. Lead, search, see what this sounds like. Let's use that. So we're gonna grab that, we're gonna quantize it. Goes here. rad. You saw how I was editing that on the piano roll, and I'm doing it that way so you can see what you can do with the programs. If I open up my mixer, the piano roll becomes a mixer and all my channels are there. Let's go back to the, let's close that. And basically you can continue to load in different plugins. I'll just record one long note there. So I'm gonna get another software instrument. This time I'm gonna call up one of my favorite ones. This one's from Arturia. It's a Mini Moog. Create it. Let me close Omnisphere, call up the Mini Moog. I already have my own programs under Eddie G, default, this one. And this is how this one sounds. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add more delay to it with a plugin right here, and I'm gonna call stereo delay. Close it, and here it comes. So everything's very loud right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this down. Now when I turn this down, all of them turn down. And I'm also gonna turn Omnisphere down. Look at that. Oh, I didn't mean to record that. So pretty much that covers two things. One, I'm covering how you can build up a sequence again, a groove, using external plugins, and basically what a plugin is, that it can be both audio effects or software instruments. And EQs, it can be anything, like for instance this. Let me show you the EQ. Anything, any outboard effect or any outboard instrument that you could get out in the world physically, you can get now as a plugin. Pretty much just about everything, and record everything on thing. I don't know if let's load up right here. Let's load up some drums over here. We had the drum kit designer. Let's bring some gain up. We can tune them. And basically that's what plugins do. Logic comes with a lot of plugins. Cubase for the iPad comes with a lot of plugins. Just about any program, Cubase, Live, Pro Tools, Logic Pro, etc., will come with a suite of plugins that are gonna be good. Now, in my opinion, companies like UBI, Spectrasonics, Arturia, East West Samples, they have really good plugins that sound way better. Now it depends on what you're going for. For instance, Trillion, their basses sound amazing. Most of the time when I record, I use Spectrasonics, Arturia, and Easy Drummer. All the Spectrasonics plugins, which are Trillion, Omnisphere, Keyscape. My last album had, it's pretty much all Spectrasonics instruments and Arturia on their Logic. 2 albums before that, it was all ModiX, Yamaha ModiX, using Cubases on the iPad. I'm gonna leave links under the description, so please, check it out. The one that I recorded with the iPad was called Funky Groups and All That Jazz. It was all iPad, all ModiX. And my latest record was it's called The Music in Me, and it was basically Keyscape, Omnisphere, and Arturia. And in one of the tracks I use a plugin called World from UBI. Let me show you what that looks like. UBI. So this is the UBI workstation. The UBI workstation works like this, and then you buy your instruments separate. So I've used this acoustic grand piano in many albums. In my next album, I'm going to be using jazz guitarism. There's the World Suit. That's why it's called World Suit. And I used it in a track called Africa. So anyway, you can load plugins. They're all gonna act different. They're all gonna sound different. And their sample libraries are a lot bigger than the ones you get for the EX24 or the samples that you get within Logic. And they're gonna sound a lot better. But that's not to say that you can't make the Logic things sound amazing. And it all depends on what kind of music you're playing. I hope this is helpful for somebody. Please share this video and subscribe if you want. I have other videos within the recording for the Do-It-Yourself Songwriter series. It's also a book available on Audible. It's a book that's available on Audible and available on Amazon. The book's only like $5 on Amazon, and if you have an Audible subscription, the link is right on the description. It's called Recording for the Do-It-Yourself Songwriter, and it has a lot of tips, a lot of knowledge on not just recording within Logic Pro and other DAWs, but about acoustics, about mixing, about there's a lot of things in the book that are not gonna be necessarily covered on this series in YouTube, Anyway, it'll help me out if you pick it up in Audible or Amazon. make a review too if you don't mind, and also check out my music and share it. It's available on Apple, Spotify, etc. I'm gonna leave links to 2 of my albums down there, and also you can check out eddie-g.com. That's eddie-g.com, and my music is there too with the links, etc. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps somebody. Thanks.